Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today, right now, we are nearing the end of Buzzword-A-Thon, and also we are on the second day of the Contemporary-A-Thon Weekend Edition. So I'm going to show you guys what I've been reading, which is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I'm only 42 pages in this one, and Buzzword-A-Thon does end tomorrow, actually. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it this weekend because it's like 450 pages or something, and I'm not a fast reader. And like I said, it's already 5 o'clock on Saturday, and I do have to work. I have to be able to work at 6 tomorrow, and I work most of the day. So I don't think I'm going to I don't think I'm going to end up being able to finish this. I don't know. We'll see. And then for Contemporary-A-Thon, the weekend edition, I am going to finish reading Icy London, Icy France by Sarah Mlynowski. This one I'm about halfway through. Also, this week I did finish 2 audiobooks, which is fantastic for me. I finished Elle Kennedy's Off-Campus series, so I read The Score and I read The Goal on audiobook. I finished those within like 2 days because they were really quick and really easy, and I was listening to them while I was driving home and while I was at work. So they were really good. I really enjoyed The Score. I think The Score, which is Dean's book, is my favorite out of the 4 of them. So I think it's going to be The Score, The Deal, The Goal, and then The Mistake in that order. The Mistake was my least favorite. I honestly don't even remember. That was Logan's book, and I honestly don't remember a whole lot about that one, to be honest. But I really did enjoy The Score. And I liked that the Score and The Goal kind of overlap. So like all throughout The Score, everyone says like they wonder where Tucker is, and then in The Goal you get his like where he's been this whole time that he was missing in The Score. So I really liked that overlap. The ending felt rushed to, and there's a lot of like big chunks of time jumping, which makes sense given the plot of it. But I just feel like it was rushed through. I mean, it was, but I did enjoy it. Tucker is adorable, but and Dean was actually an asshole in The Goal. I really didn't like him, but I did like his story in The Score. So anyway, those are the 2 books I read this week, and then I got some book mail. So the book mail I got from Barnes & Noble is the lovely Barnes & Noble special edition of The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the 3rd book of the Folk in the Air series. Everyone's like been reading it and is done with it already. But I really want to finish the books I'm currently reading right now before I start another book. I don't know what other readathons are going on in December. I was thinking, we have Used Bookathon starts on Monday. Oh gosh, I forgot about that. Used Bookathon is the other readathon I want to do. There's a couple there. I forget what the prompts are, but I know I have like 2 or 3 books that I do want to read for Used Bookathon. And unfortunately, I work all the way through now until Thanksgiving. But I do have, after Thanksgiving, I do have like a 3-day weekend. So I have Thanksgiving, Black Friday, and then Saturday I have off. So we'll see how this week unfolds for me. Right now, I'm about to eat dinner. And then I'm going to probably watch a couple Supernatural episodes while I eat. I'm near the end of season 9 right now. So I'm almost there. I'm almost caught up. Couple more seasons to go, which is another reason why my reading's been really slow, because I've been watching Supernatural, trying to catch up. Hi, hello again. It is 4:30 on Sunday, and as I predicted, I was trying to read last night and ended up falling asleep, so I did not get very far. I'm only to page 58 of Ninth House. And Buzzword-A-Thon ends tomorrow, as well as the Contemporary Weekend Edition. Contemporary-A-Thon Weekend Edition. So all 3 of my readathons were a bust. I have not been doing well with readathons for like the past like last half of the year. I've been doing terribly. So I feel like this is going to be a horrible vlog. It's just going to be me failing at reading. But Used Bookathon begins tomorrow, which I feel like is stupid of me to even try to do at this point because I'm already in the middle of 3 books. But I do have books that I want to read for Used Bookathon. I don't know. So I think maybe because I'm further along with Icy London, Icy France. I'm going to try to actually finish that one. I don't know. I still have a ways to go. I don't know. Anyway, for used Book-A-Thon, there are some prompts to go with it. And I have 3 books that fit into like a big chunk of the... Sorry, I'm not even in frame. 3 books that fit into the big chunk of the prompts. Some of them aren't actually like reading prompts. They're more like things to do while you're reading. But I'm going to show you what books I theoretically would like to read for used Book-A-Thon. I'm actually probably going to take out one of them just because it was... I don't know. I'm going to show it to you anyway, and then we can decide. So the first challenge is read a book that's 10 years or older. And for that one, I'm going to go with Into the Dreaming by Karen Marie Moning. This was actually an old library book. It's in like that plastic that they put their books in. And it also says Harford County Public Library, which I don't know where that is, but it's not from my library. So Into the Dreaming is actually a novella from Karen Marie Moning's Immortal Highlander series, which I highly recommend if you have not read it. If you like romance, it's really good. I really like it. But this is a novella, and I think it also has... So we have the Into the Dreaming novella, which is like only 130 pages or something. And then we have a proposal for a book that she never ended up publishing. We have deleted scenes from one of her Immortal Highlander books, Kiss of the Highlander. We have kind of a first draft of The Dark Highlander. It came out at a time where she like wasn't in the right mindset to write the character. So she rewrote the whole thing. So this was kind of her first pass at it. And then we have an excerpt from Dark Fever, which is the first book of my personal favorite series, the Fever series, which I also highly recommend. So this one honestly won't take long. The actual Into the Dreaming novella was 2002. So that counts because that'll be 17 years. So do that one for that prompt. And then we have a next one is a book from your 2019 TBR, and this one is going to be Broken Prince by Aaron Watt. This is the second book of the Royal series. I read Paper Princess. Actually, I think I read it at the beginning of this year. And I could not for the life of me find Broken Prince. I had the third book, Twisted Palace, for a really long time. And I finally was able to find this one on a used... It got it off of Amazon, but it was like a used bookstore off of Amazon. So it is a used book, but it's in really, really nice condition, which I love. So next one is next in a series, which would be Broken Prince. It's book 2. So next is prompt number 4 is read a hardcover. Now this would also be Into the Dreaming, would also count for that. Originally, before I realized I had this book I also wanted to read, I was also going to read Touch of Gold by Annie Sullivan. This is a short book. I don't even think it's 300 pages. It's just barely 300 pages. Next is number 5 is Read a Paranormal. And I'm going to consider Into the Dreaming paranormal because it's about fae. I don't know if you consider fae paranormal or fantasy, but I'm going to say paranormal. So we're going to make it fit. Next one is a book with orange on the cover. Now I don't think either of these books have orange on the cover. I mean, I don't know if you consider A Touch of Gold. I don't think that's like orange. It's like shades of yellow and gold. So I don't know. That's kind of pushing it. But I have books that fit enough of the prompts that I really don't feel like I have to read one in this category. Number 7 is buddy read a book. I don't think I'm going to be into buddy reading a book. I never have before. So, I mean, if you all want to buddy read something with me, hit me up. Let me know. Number 8 is share something you're thankful for. Number 9 is read while eating pie. Again, not a prompt, but I can do it. Number 10 is read from a beloved author. And if you don't know, Karen Marie Moning is actually my absolute favorite author. So I will read anything by her, and I cannot wait for her new book to come out in 2020. I'm so excited. So number 11 is a book from your favorite bookstore. I don't really have like local used bookstores, and anything I've gotten from them, I don't really. There was a book I was considering reading that would have been from the one used bookstore, and that was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Is that the whole title? I do have a used hardcover version of it. I think the lettering is actually in orange, so I could have chosen that one as well. So yeah, otherwise these other two are from Amazon, like the Amazon Marketplace. And then number 12 is donate books, which I actually do regularly. Every once in a while when I get a good sized book haul, I'll go through my shelves and start weeding through like books that maybe I'm no longer interested in, books that I've already read and realized that I really don't want to have interest, that I don't have interest in reading again, or just books that I don't want to read at all anymore, or I feel like I'm never going to get to. I may want to read them at some point, but at this point it's not something that's high on my priority list, and I'm just going to take them off to make room for other books and donate them. So those are the 12 prompts for Used Book-A-Thon, which begins tomorrow. Like I said, who knows how that's gonna go. It may turn out to be a really good end of the week. So I'm gonna do an update in the car because why not? I do need to get a dash mount though. I'm currently driving one-handed, so I'm bad, don't yell at me. I'm gonna invest in a dash mount actually as soon as possible. So update, I actually finished a book last night, yay. I did finish I See London, I See France by Sarah Mlynowski. I think I'm gonna give it like 4 stars. I did like it better than her other book I read, which is 10 Things We Did and Probably Shouldn't Have. I love books about international travel. I have been overseas, but I was on a school trip and I really don't remember a whole lot about it. I went to France, and then I also went to like the northern portion of Italy for a few days. So I really like books about travel. I didn't read any more of Ninth House because I finished I See London, I See France like as after 9 o'clock, and I had to be up at 5, so I just went to bed right after. But I'm going to read more of Ninth House today. Also, today is the first day of Used Book-A-Thon, so I don't know. I really want to try to finish Ninth House before I start any of my Used Book-A-Thon books, just because Ninth House was supposed to be part of Buzzword-A-Thon, which I didn't get to finish in time. So I just want to finish that one first and then start Used Book-A-Thon, but I still have like a lot of Ninth House to read. I forgot to say some more about I See London, I See France. So I did not like the main character of 10 Things We Did. I really didn't like her. But I did enjoy the main character of I See London, I See France. I didn't like her best friend. I thought her best friend was really annoying. Because she goes through a really like bad breakup with her boyfriend, which is what kind of prompts the main character, Sydney, to go on this European summer trip with her friend. They're originally supposed to go, but her mom has like this agoraphobia. So she was afraid of leaving her mom alone with her sister for the summer. But then once her friend Leela and her boyfriend, who was gonna go on the trip in place of Sydney, break up, Sydney feels bad and was like, okay, well, you know, her friend still wanted her to go, so she ends up making plans and going. But like it ends up that her boyfriend Matt still goes on the trip anyway. He goes by himself and he invites like one of his friends along with them. So the whole time they like run into each other all around Europe, that was a weird way to say that. And Leela is just like whining about running into him all the time, but she still wants to run into him. Like, it's serious relationship drama, and it's like really annoying. I think it's supposed to be irritating, but it's like really irritating. It's like, girl, you need to grow up. But then again, these characters are like 19 years old. I did like the romance between Sydney and Jackson, who is her friend Leela's boyfriend's friend that came along. I did like that. It was cute. But yeah, the only thing I like the bad boy trope thing. Bad boy, you know, he has a bad reputation of being a player and sleeping around and stuff like that, but he's really, I mean, he is like that, but he's like actually a nice guy. So sometimes I don't like it if it's not well written. This one was kind of meh, but I like Jackson as like a person more than the whole issue with his background and stuff. And I especially didn't like how Leela was like, went back and forth on it. Like, that was really irritating. Well, it was irritating to Sydney too, because she was like, one minute she was telling them to stay away from each other, and then she was like, oh, you know, we're in Europe, why don't you guys hook up? And then she went back and forth. Well, he's a player anyway. I hope you don't have any diseases. It's a back and forth mess. I honestly did not like the best friend. But the main character I did enjoy her. And I did enjoy when she finally snapped and was like, you need to fucking relax because you're being dramatic for no reason. So those are my thoughts that I was trying to remember as I was driving. Guess what? I finally got myself a dash mount. It's about time. Say hi, Soph. I had to pick up my mom's dog from the groomers. Hi, Soph. Say hi. You gonna sit there, big good girl? Reading update. I did not get very far. Once again, I fell asleep last night reading Ninth House. I don't know if it's the book. I don't know if it's just me being tired, because I read over 200 pages of I See London, I See France the other night and didn't fall asleep at all. I didn't even feel tired. So I don't know if it's just that book is making me tired, or I honestly couldn't even tell you. So I think I read another, I don't even know if I read a full chapter, maybe at least a full chapter, maybe a chapter and a couple pages. I don't even know. I got off work at 2. My mom and I ran some errands, and then I had to pick up this one from the groomers. It is now 4:45, and I'm going to be stuck in traffic for a while. I'm enjoying Ninth House. There's this magical system at university. It's Yale, but there's this little hidden magical system within these secret societies, and our main character Alex is part of Lethe House, which is kind of the house that kind of oversees the societies to make sure they're not doing anything completely irrational or illegal or dangerous, overly dangerous, which is interesting. But it's not one of those, I'm going to use Harry Potter as an example. We take a completely unaware human and dump them into this world where we're learning along with him. We're dumped into this world that, yes, she's new, she's the newest recruit, but it's kind of she's already been there a while and she's already in this role. And it flashes back to present day, and then it flashes back to the previous fall when she's with her mentor Darlington and learning along with him. So we get a little bit of initial, I still want to know, I'm on chapter 6, and I still want to kind of know, we still don't know what happened to her that got her into Yale, because she was a druggie or a drug dealer or something, and they kind of plucked her out of obscurity for this position as the new Dante. And then because Dante was Virgil's protege, I guess you would call it, so she's the Dante, and then Darlington becomes the new Virgil. But yeah, I'm interested to see her whole story and what made them choose her as the new Dante. It's an interesting I'm really interested in the book. It's just, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's currently because it's slow, even though it's not really slow, but maybe I'm thinking it's slow and that's why I keep falling asleep, or I'm just legitimately that tired. I did renew my library card today. I had I had a $3 late fee. My library card expired in 2014. And I had a $3 late fee from 2013, which was my senior year of college. So I'm assuming I took out books for a project or a report or something I had to do, or paper, and never returned them on time.
But so I paid the late fee. I renewed my card for another 3 years, mostly because I don't usually go to the library that often. So yeah, I renewed my library card because I downloaded the Libby app. And I really want to try to see if I can get audiobooks on Libby for free. I know that they do, like, you can sign in with your library card and like take out books or audiobooks or ebooks or whatever. And you know, there's a wait list and they get returned at a certain time. So I want to try and see if my library does it. When I get home, I'm gonna go on and see what it's all about. If you guys have any Libby tips or have any other options. I've mentioned in the past I'm not a big audiobook person, but I'm thinking that if I can get them for free, it's because I like having the physical copy of a book, and I don't want to have to pay the extra to have an audiobook when I can just read the physical copy. So that's why I'm thinking if I could get Libby to work, then that's a win-win because the audiobook will be free and I already have the actual hard copy of the book. So I'm gonna try to see if it works. We'll see. I'm hoping my library has joined the 21st century. It's dark, I'm sorry. It is literally almost 5 o'clock. It is so dark outside, so I am like completely in shadow right now. All right, I already been filming for 8 minutes, but we're on the move now. So I think I'm going to sign off. I'm really liking this dash mount, by the way. I feel like I'm gonna do a lot more car vlogs as I'm driving around town in the dark. So we're back again with another update on the way home from work. I don't really have like a reading update for you guys. Once again, I fell asleep last night before I even got to pick up Ninth House, so I really don't even think I don't think it's the book. I think it's just me being exhausted. But I am done with work for the next 3 days, and I'm going to try. I think I do have some stuff to do when I get home, like cleaning wise, that I neglected over the last several days since I've been working through the holiday weekend and stuff. But I am going to try to read as much as I can tonight. I did try to use Libby last night to see what kind of books I could get on audio. Unfortunately, I discovered my library does not offer audiobooks on Libby or Overdrive, so that kind of sucks. At least my library card is renewed now for 3 years if I ever need it for any reason. I probably should start using library instead of constantly buying books, but I really just enjoy buying books. So tomorrow is Thanksgiving. What is everyone doing for the holiday? Let me know what you guys did, since this is going to go out after the holiday. So originally, I had already bought a turkey, and I won one at our work raffle. So I currently have 2 turkeys, and we were just going to have Thanksgiving at my house, and then my aunt called and said, hey, I don't have the kids, you know, if you guys want to come over. So it'd be my aunt and uncle, and then my uncle's sister, and that's it. It's gonna be like 5 of us, which is fine. I don't like big holidays. I'm a huge introvert and like not a sociable person, so I hate when we have holidays and all of the family are there, like all of my cousins and their kids. Okay, anyway, I did have an announcement that I know 'Tis the Season-a-thon begins the day after Used Book-a-thon ends. I think it's the 2nd, December 2nd, which would be Monday, I think is when 'Tis the Season-a-thon begins, is Monday. And I am not a big Christmassy person. Like, I think Christmas is like my least favorite holiday. I'm definitely a Halloween person. I do want to do a readathon in December. I keep trying these and I keep failing at them, but we're gonna keep trying until I win one. So I really want to do, I don't want to do 'Tis the Season-a-thon, but I do want to do a readathon. So I'm thinking that because I failed so miserably at Spookathon, that I'm going to retry Spookathon during 'Tis the Season-a-thon, because that's just my whole vibe.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It is currently a little after 7 o'clock. And I've been home for like an hour or so now, just unwinding and trying to digest all of the wonderful Thanksgiving feast that I had today. So I think I'm going to spend until I fall asleep, going to try to read some more of Ninth House, which I have not read since the other day when I fell asleep reading it. But I did finish a book. I started it yesterday and I finished it this morning. and that is Into the Dreaming by Karen Marie Moning. So this was one of my books for Used Book-A-Thon. So already we're having a successful Used Book-A-Thon because I finished one book, which is great. Considering the last Read-A-Thons I've been doing, I haven't been doing well at all. So Into the Dreaming, it's a novella. It's like 120 pages, not even. But there is extra bonus content in this book, which I think I talk about in an earlier video. I really enjoyed this novella. I wish it was longer. I feel like it would have made a really great, like, full-length story. But this was actually kind of I was reading in the afterword that this was kind of a prelude to the Fever series. Like, it introduces, like, the Unseelie King, the Dark Unseelie King, the Light Seelie Queen, and, like, their romance kind of thing that they had going on. It's mentioned in the folklore and, like, the backstory in the Fever series. So there's, like, hints at it in this. It's not like they don't blatantly say, like, the names of them, but you can definitely tell, like, this is the seeds that began the whole Fever saga, which I love. So this particular book is about a mortal Highlander, not an immortal Highlander like the rest of her books in the series. But we have our mortal Highlander, Aidan McKinnon, I think Aidan McKinnon, who was born in like 900 or something, 900 and something, and he ends up having to give 5 years of his life to the Unseelie court. And what the Unseelie King doesn't tell him is that 5 human years is actually 500 Fae years in fairy. So he is essentially a prisoner, and he becomes the Unseelie King's vengeance. They call him, he's stripped of his name, he's stripped of his humanity, and he's called Vengeance now, and he's sent out to carry out the Unseelie King's, like, demand. And when the Seelie Queen hears about what the Unseelie King has done, she hatches a plan in which the one thing that could get Aidan out of his contract with the Unseelie King is if he falls in love with a mortal woman and is loved by her in return. And then there's a thing that after, like, his 5 years are up, he's able to spend a month back in the mortal world, or back in his world. So in the interim, before his 5 years are up, the Seelie Queen creates a Song of Making, which is, if you read the Fever series, it's hinted at in this book, like what the Song of Making is. It's a big thing in that series. But she weaves this song in which our heroine, Jane, and Aidan have, like, a connection through the dreaming, which is a dream world. So they dream about each other. They have, like, a relationship. He watches her grow up, and then they become a more like, adult relationship and very physical relationship. And it's one thing that keeps him kind of a little bit saner. And then one day she wakes up and she's transported back to, like, 11 or 1400s Scotland. And he doesn't remember her. He doesn't know who she is. He's thrust into this world and he has no idea what to do. And all of the villagers are coming up because he's dropped back into his family's castle estate, which is in ruin because they all left several hundred years ago. His family's been long dead. And the villagers are so happy to have another McKinnon back as laird of their land. And he's like, I want nothing to do with this. He doesn't know what they're talking about. And Jane is just all gung-ho. She's a romance writer. And so she's writing, like, her own fantasy story of her and Aidan. And, like, she's all gung-ho for staying in this world with him. If she can get him to love her and they can break his spell, like, they can live together in his century, which she wants. She wants nothing to do with the modern day century. And it's a novella, so things happen very quickly. She has a month to get him to fall in love with her, and he is, like, there's a point where he disappears for, like, a whole week, and one of the things that the Unseelie King told him was that he cannot let a mortal woman touch him, and he can only eat, like, bland foods because he doesn't want memories sparked. So obviously there's like a lot of tension build up, and like she's like giving him all the sexual attention, and he's like without touching him, and it's just like it's really good. I have to say Karen writes really good, like I don't want to say like sexy scene. I mean, she does, but like the build up to it was just even better, because there is no like explicit, like in her other books there is explicit smut. This one doesn't have it explicitly like drawn out, but it's the build up is just so good. I think I ended up giving this one 3 stars. But I'm probably gonna end up, now that I'm talking about it, I'm probably gonna end up bumping it up to 4 stars. I think it's just because I was disappointed in how it just ended so abruptly. Because I'm like, where's the rest of it? I mean, it's not a cliffhanger or anything, but I was just like, I wanted more. That's usually how I am, because I think I mentioned earlier in this video, Karen is my absolute favorite writer, and this Beaver series is one of my absolute favorite series, so I just want more. But yeah, that was my first book. I finally finished Read-A-Thon, and then I'm going to start reading, well, continue reading Ninth House and see how far I get tonight. And then depending on how I do with Ninth House tonight, I'll either continue reading it tomorrow, or I'll try to pick up Broken Prince, which is my other used bookathon book that I wanted to read. So we'll see how things go, because it seemed that I was able to devour this one very quickly. I didn't fall asleep, even though I was this morning, because I woke up so early. My eyes were starting to cross because I was laying down reading, and I was like starting to nod off, but I made it through. So yeah, we'll give you an update later. So it is now it's 1:45 on Saturday. So we are on the second to last day of Used Bookathon. Used Bookathon ends, oh, excuse me, tomorrow. And I'm actually doing really well with this readathon. So I finished, as I mentioned in my previous clip, finished Into the Dreaming, and then I started Broken Prince yesterday, which is the second book of the Royal series. The first book is Paper Princess, which I read at the beginning of this year, and I'm already 132 pages into this book. So I feel like I'm set up for success with finishing this book by tomorrow night, which is great, because I do work tomorrow, but I'm off again on Monday and Tuesday. It's the life of a retail worker, you know? So I'm actually I remember the previous book kind of ending on a cliffhanger, and then this one picks up, this one picks up from Reed's point of view, like a little bit before the ending of Paper Princess. You get a dual perspective in this one. I don't remember getting a dual perspective in Paper Princess. You get Ella in Paper Princess, and this one has both Ella and Reed's perspective, which I wasn't expecting, because I thought, apparently I'm very wrong, but I thought each book was like the story of a different royal brother. I guess not. But all I know is that I'm really enjoying this series. A lot of people don't like it because there's like problematic themes in it. You know, to each their own. It doesn't really bother me. I don't really care too much because it's fiction, you know, and I enjoy a good story. And this one literally has me, like, I didn't put this down. I was laying in bed reading this last night and didn't fall asleep. I was just speeding through it. So that being said, I was reading Ninth House yesterday. I read like half a chapter and fell asleep, which is why I opted to pick up this, because I was like, I can't just waste this weekend not reading. And then this morning, I'm on page 114 right now. So this morning I finished that chapter yesterday and read another chapter before I started to it was like really early in the morning though. It was like 7 in the morning. I woke up at about 6 as normal. And I ended up falling asleep for like 4 hours. I keep saying I don't know if it's me or the book. I'm thinking it's the book is just really slow. It's starting to get a little bit better. The end of the last chapter, we finally got a breakthrough of Alex's, like, what it was like for her growing up and why Lethe House, or what Lethe House was doing, like while they were, I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, but like when they were watching her as she was, and kind of examining her. I don't know if it's, I'm just not in the mood for something like this right now, because contemporaries I've been flying through, except for Into the Dreaming, but that was really short anyway. But like I finished Icy Lunch and Icy France in a night. I flew 130 some pages of this one last night. So I'm thinking I'm just in the mood for contemporaries right now, which is fine. That doesn't mean I'm not going to finish this now that I'm finally a big chunk of the way through. I love Leigh Bardugo so much. And I really love the premise of this book so much. It's so intriguing. But for whatever reason, I can't get myself to sit and focus and really read it in big chunks, unlike I can with these easy contemporaries. So I don't know. And I'd rather not waste a whole weekend doing nothing or trying to read and falling asleep in the middle. So I'm not going to push myself to try to finish this weekend, even though I'm still going to continue reading it in like increments, just so I'm not pressured in any way. I don't want to fall into another slump, because that was awful. And it totally put me back on my Goodreads reading goal for the year. So I'm over halfway of my goal right now, but nowhere near like meeting it, which is fine. But I just hope to make it. I don't think I'm going to make it to as many books as I read last year, but if I can make it close, I'll be okay. So yeah, I'm going to definitely read more of this today. I don't know. I don't think I have anything else really to do. Like, it's almost 1 o'clock. I'm going to eat lunch, and I do have to shower and like clean up a little bit, but I think other than that, we're good. Oh, I did go on a crazy book haul, like book buying binge yesterday. Book Outlet was having a 30% off their website, so I bought like 11 books. But they were all like $2, like $3. None of them were more than $3 that I bought. So I think I had 11 books, and then I ended up buying one of the books that was in my cart was actually the second of a series. So I went on Amazon and got the first one. And at the moment, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Rule and Ruin. And while that book was only like $3.50 used, which I go to the marketplace and buy from like the used ones, unless the new copies are really cheap. And then I ended up buying the first of the Elements series by Brittany C. Cherry. I can't remember what it's. The Air He Breathes, I think, is the first one. That's the one I bought. And they weren't too expensive. They were like, that one was like $10, I think. So that was pretty good. That's what I think of buying indie books. Like, it's a lot cheaper to get the Kindle version, because they're like $3.99, $4.99. Sometimes they're on sale for 99 cents. Like The Deal by Elle Kennedy, I got that for free, and the audiobook for free. And then the other ones after that were like $3.99, and then you could add on the audiobook for $1.99, which is super cheap and amazing. And that's what got me into reading those on audio. But when you want, like, I like having like these the flimsy soft covers. I really like them, but they're expensive. They're like $14, $13 for one. So I try to find them used if I can, which is no biggie. I'm not a big like snob, as long as like the cover's not ripped down the middle or like missing, or it's like impossible to hold together while I'm reading. Like, it's not a big deal to me. I mean, I will look for the one that's in nicer condition, but you know, if there's some wear on the edges and some creases, no big deal. But yeah, so that was, ended up spending, I mean, I didn't spend that much money. I also bought a t-shirt because I don't know if you guys watch any other YouTubers outside of BookTube. I really like watching Kelsey and Peachy K. She does the 100 Baby Challenge on BuzzFeed's multiplayer channel, and she has her own merch, and it was 40% off, and then when you were in the cart, it added an extra 10% off. So I got a t-shirt from her for like, with shipping, it was like $17, which is amazing because it's like 30, I think, normally. I'm excited about that. That actually shipped early this morning, so yay. And that's it. I'll do a haul for all my crap when it comes in, so that'll be a separate video. This actually would be the end of this vlog because I think I started it last Saturday, I believe. So this would technically be the end of my week-long vlog, but because Used Book-A-Thon ends tomorrow, I'll end this vlog tomorrow. I just finished Broken Prince. Oh My God, the ending. It is almost 11 p.m. right now, and I couldn't wait to give you an update until tomorrow. I am so tempted to pick up Twisted Palace because what a wild ride like the last chapter was. My God, like going into the last few chapters, like I knew something was gonna go down, but it wasn't what I expected, and I'm just like, my mind is blown. I mean, it's some serious like soap opera shit and stuff going on, but I am here for it. Like, bring it on. I still have a day left of a used book-a-thon. Even though my copy of Twisted Palace isn't a used copy, at least I'm pretty sure it's not. I'll have to double check on that, if I got it off Amazon or what, I'm not sure. But anyway, I may end up picking that one up tomorrow because I'm so pissed I have to go to work in the morning because like, I want to read it so bad. So I'm gonna probably end up picking up that one when I get home tomorrow. And more than likely, we'll be finishing that because I'm off Monday and Tuesday. And it's supposed to be shitty weather, so I'm sure I'll have time. You guys. This book is crazy. It ended crazier than the other one. It just keeps escalating, and I'm like... Normally the second book in the series is usually the one that's like meh. At least historically for me, when I read the second book, it's like meh. This one totally upped the ante, like a second book is supposed to do, making way for a crazy jam-packed third book, which I hopefully doesn't disappoint. I'm gonna be so disappointed if it doesn't live up. But yeah, I'm just... Now I'm gonna try to go to sleep. So it is currently 9:30 Sunday night, the final day of used book-a-thon and the final day of this reading vlog. But I finally was able to complete a read-a-thon out of like the 5 I tried to do the last 2 months, and used book-a-thon was a success for me. Hallelujah, I'm so excited. So I finished my 2 books for used book-a-thon. I did not actually start Twisted Palace yet. Like I said in my previous clip, I was going to start it right away. I ended up not. I was at work this morning and we got like some really bad weather right now. I ended up leaving work early and just being lazy. I did, however, read more of Ninth House. I actually read without falling asleep. So I'm currently on page 182, which is great. So I read about like 65 pages, which was amazing progress for me today for this book, considering throughout this vlog I've been failing miserably at trying to read this. So that's it. I hope this vlog isn't gonna be a whole bunch of long nonsense. I don't know. I'm actually gonna start another vlog tomorrow because 'tis the season of fun begins tomorrow. But if you have watched this thing all the way through, you'll know that I'm actually participating in 'Tis the Season-a-thon. I'm doing something a little bit different during the same week, which I will talk about in that vlog. So, happy reading, everybody.